Well, welcome everybody to Steph's antiviral meditation, and this meditation is on building resilience. So today I have a guest with me. My guest is Lucy. Started to shake. Lucy, the amazing resilient dog. She's the most resilient person I know. One of the most resilient people dogs I know. And she's Lucy's 16. And she, a couple of years ago, did a great escape. She's very little. You can see not much of it. It was about like 1.5 kilos, 3 kilos max. And she escaped from someone who was looking after her into the wilderness, across a freeway, 6 lanes of traffic, and into where was a whole heap of trees and nature. And we lost her for 2 weeks in the cold, didn't we, Luce? And it was freezing in Australia. What's freezing in Brisbane? As 5 degrees about at night, didn't you? We couldn't find her for a couple of weeks, but through the wonders of social media, we ended up finding her very skinny and talking to bush turkeys here in Australia, which was wonderful, and pretty dehydrated. But she had ended up, when she escaped, she actually broke her femur. So we ended up having to, she's only a 3-legged dog now. You had to get rid of one because she really did herself some damage. That's her tail there. There's a 3-legged dog. There you go, the little tripod. And when we took her to the vet, when we got her back, when she was skinny as, the vet said, oh, I don't hold up much hope for her. Her kidneys are probably shot. So we'll have to test her kidneys. And when the vet tested her kidneys, he found out that she was indeed absolutely fine after 2 weeks, to his amazement and surprise. So Lisa's going to be here with me today, being my mindfulness dog. Millie, the mindfulness dog's taking a bit of a rest. She's being mindful elsewhere, which is lovely. She's got a little bell too. She's deaf, absolutely deaf, so she can't hear us. So this way we can at least sometimes locate her when we're looking for her, or stomp on the floor very loudly. So I thought Lucy would be a great companion to have with me here for our resilience discussions. So we're going to be talking about resilience today. And so what is resilience? Resilience is a skill. It's actually something that can be developed, where you continue to operate at a high level of functioning despite challenges, despite setbacks, despite disruptive change. So despite any external challenges or conditions. And you use these times to leverage off and go on to thrive, move on to thrive. So resilience is not so much about surviving as it is about leveraging off those conditions to transform into a person who does thrive. So that's what this is about today. Resilience is important. Do you think, Lucy? Lucy thinks resilience is important because it really helps us connect with what's important, and it helps bring greater meaning and greater rewards to our lives as well. So there are some barriers to resilience. Now I'll share with you a book that I read many moons ago, but it's still a good one. I think poor old Al's dead now, but he wrote a good book. And this one is called The Resiliency Advantage by Dr. Al Siebert. Master change, thrive under pressure, and bounce back from setbacks. And it's a great book, and I've used that often, and it's got some great research in it as well. But in that book, Al says there's some barriers to being resilient. One of the main barriers, surprisingly, or may surprise some people, is being a good child, brought up as a good child. You know, a good child that sits over in the corner and does what they're told and is quiet, doesn't speak unless spoken to. So if you've been raised to be happy and never complain, you've got to be all happy all the time and never complain. You're less likely to speak about your feelings, which is important in terms of resilience. One of the important things about building resilience is being able to identify and be aware of your emotions and being able to accurately label them. So it's really quite important. So if you're a good child, you may have been raised to try and be overly optimistic, whereas you really need to have a balanced view and just accept whatever it is. Sometimes we try and, this whole wave of positive thinking, it's not about positive thinking. That's like sometimes slamming yourself over the head when you realise that you really know that it's not the truth. It's about shifting your identity and how you're operating and who you're being. That's most important. So being able to recognise risk and having a balanced view is really important. If you've been overly socialised to conform, so conformist, and you believe that external forces control your life, so you're blown around by the conditions in life, you're less likely to be able to look at things from a different perspective and shift your view. And you might have the view that, well, that's just the way things are, it's all out of my control. Whereas you can control how you're being and your view, and perhaps by doing that, shift your options that you may not have seen before. They're really important. What else? You might have bought into the myth of stress. That's what Lucy's doing at the moment. She's buying into the myth of stress. She'll do a little bit stressed and shaky, so I just give her a cuddle. They're very important for building resilience. Yes. Oh, very lovely. I love the hug. Kitty, God, it's got terrible breath. Boy, oh boy, old dog breath. Anyway, resilient but smelly. Yeah, thought you could have it all. But anyway, so we were talking about the myth of stress. Yeah, look, so many books and articles and courses and programs and even things that you can do that, some of them, while they may be well-intentioned, they sustain the illusion that something called stress is constantly bombarding us and harming us all the time. So, for example, like in the workplace, we can be convinced that our jobs are full of stress. And when that happens, it makes us feel more like victims. It makes us feel like things are out of our control. So it's more important to know that in stress-filled jobs that you can choose how you respond. You can choose to actually cope well. Are you choosing to cope well, Lucy? Yes, I am. Choosing to cope well. You want to say hello to the people? Show them how resilient you are? Okay, so stress in our lives isn't a bad thing. It makes us pay attention, and then we can step into the knowing that we're truly capable to navigate through things. And that way we can grow, which is what it's all about too. So it's not about having an expert or someone to tell you what to do. It's about connecting with your own inner wisdom, which is really important. Just like Lucy would have connected with her inner wisdom when she got lost. So if you've experienced some great challenges maybe in your life, maybe you've suffered some form of abuse, some sort of trauma, PTSD, the good thing to know from that is that you can experience an equal and opposite reaction. So the bigger the trauma, the bigger the payoff. So the bigger the beauty the other side when you're able to transform. So that's really something to look forward to if you've been stuck in that place of trauma for some time. There is a bridge to the other side. So just knowing that it can be enough to start to provide some relief and move you in the right direction. So you can be potentially one of the most resilient people in the world, like Lucy, the wonder dog. So resilient people look for the learning and the opportunities and things. They look for what's possible. And rather than seeing challenges then as an immovable force, like a brick wall. So they sustain good health and good energy in times of being under pressure, and they're really adaptable as well. So it's important to have an optimistic outlook, but they really display their capabilities and their strengths way beyond maybe what they even expected, which is fantastic. They have a range of ways to look at the world. They look at the world for win-wins, and they live on values and principles rather than harsh rules or strict rules. So that will make you more resilient as well. So there's a lot more reading and information you can find out about resilience. That's a little bit of an intro and some of it. It's important to have qualities that are childlike and playful. Curiosity is a big one. So let's bring them into today, and make sure we ask ourselves good questions, because they ultimately determine our success. And obviously building our emotional intelligence, which is what we're doing now. So the one thing you can remind yourself is that you always have a choice, and so your choice to be here today is excellent. You can choose what you focus on. So you are your best guide and your best teacher. All right, so because resilience needs to be practiced in order to be developed, yeah, well, let's start practicing it now. So I'm going to put my friend Lucy down. See you, Lucy, say goodbye. Bye bye. Here she goes. Woo. I'll put her over here. There you go. Off you go. And I'm going to go and share my screen. So just bear with me while I do this. Share screen. There we go. Before we get started, what I'd like you to do is rate yourself in terms of your resilience, where you are now, out of 10. So how resilient do you feel right now as you sit there, out of 10? Give yourself a rating. And the other thing I'd like you to do is, we just spoke about some qualities of resilience. So I'd like you to decide what your intention is for this meditation. Bring an intention into the meditation. What quality do you want to focus on expanding? What do you want to become more of? Do you want to be more curious or playful, more accepting? What are some of the what's the key focus for you? So take that intention into the meditation in the rest of the day. Start by sitting with your back up nice and straight and your shoulders relaxed. Your feet on the floor. Put your fingertips together like this picture here. And taking a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Focused on your intention. And now become aware of your breathing and continue to breathe in deeply through your nose and slowly out through your mouth, shifting your attention to your breath. And as you breathe in this time, breathe in your intention and allow it to fill all 4 sides of your torso with your intention and your breath. Dropping the breath into your belly and letting it out through the mouth as you relax through your shoulders, and then repeat with another big breath in again. And then out slowly through your mouth, just softening. And one more time, one deep breath in to fill your torso with the breath and to fill it with your intention. And out slowly through your mouth. Becoming aware of yourself and your body and your thoughts and your feelings. Make any adjustments you need to make yourself feel strong and aligned. And start to become curious like a detective, investigating the present moment. And now take a moment to recognize your capacity to choose your focus at any given point in time. Just like now, breathing easily, calmly at peace with your breath and your choice. Totally aware of being here now. Allow any thoughts to slip away, any concerns you thought you may have had, going beyond them now, beyond the thoughts, beyond the feelings, beyond beliefs, deeper than you've ever been before, beyond all you thought that may have been you, fully present and awake to now recognizing the true essence of yourself, recognizing that your spirit is not necessarily in your body, but your body is in your spirit. And from now, from that standpoint, being in the space of the spirit, totally immersed and allowing yourself to integrate and feel the presence of that now, noticing there is a deeper consciousness. And as you breathe deeply now, you go deeper into the peaceful and deeper consciousness where all resilience lives, where your resilience lives, where you connect and settle upon your unshakable foundation, a foundation of strength, a foundation of empowerment, a foundation of knowingness. As you allow yourself to fully immerse into your true essence of wisdom, recognize that you can choose your focus, and that any condition or challenge is an opportunity for you to listen to your inner guidance, allowing yourself to connect to this foundation of strength, the truth of who you are, the essence at your core. You don't need to suffer unnecessarily. And the best you can do for yourself now is to breathe deeply, to best serve yourself and others when you can hold the space of connection, your inner strength and knowing to expand, knowing all will unfold and that you have unshakable, undeniable knowing that you will emerge strong and flow through each step as it unfolds. Just taking the next step, removing all resistance. Breathing in presence and breathing out resistance. Breathing in loving knowing, breathing out any beliefs that were causing dis-ease. And as your breath travels down, you come face to face with the true essence of you, that playful, curious child asking questions that serve you, that are powerful for you, that move you forward. Looking for the opportunity maybe that you didn't see before, allowing that to arise. And now you can start to notice some dark clouds moving your way, a storm of sorts moving towards you, and with the clouds come thunder and lightning. The thunder so loud it feels deafening. And you can feel the energy of the thunder pulsate through. You can feel it in your body, and somehow you have this knowing that all is well, even though the thunder is there and it's roaring. You are safe. And then you notice the lightning as it brightly strikes quite near you. It feels like an incredible amount of energy pulsating through the earth. You feel the energy, allowing it to bring life into you, expansion into you and your body, into your life. And now, with some playful curiosity, you wonder what it would be like to step into the storm, knowing somewhere within you that all is well. As you choose to step into the storm now, through the bright white lightning strikes and the roar of the thunder. And as you step in, you are intrigued to discover in the center of the storm, there is a calm space. the eye of the storm. It was always there, just like you are always able to step into your center, your calm and knowing place of guidance. And as you are there, you take a moment to know that with any storm, all you need to do is to step into your center and to be present to what is, as all will unfold, and allowing yourself to turn up the feelings of the knowing, of a sense of being connected, being centered, immersed in your essence, your own inner wisdom. And as you do that, as you turn up that knowing, just press your fingers against each other so you anchor in that feeling of feeling connected now. So you're centered into that wisdom, your resilient self, and turn the intensity of the connection up and press your fingers together to anchor in that connection to your empowered self again. And now allow your hands to drop on your lap and notice that it's easy to stay connected to your resilient, all-knowing, calm and wise self, the essence that is you. And as you sit in this space, take this opportunity to hand over anything that has felt too big for you to manage. Give it over today to the energy field that is wisdom and all-knowing. Out of your hands, out of your mind, hand it over and surrender to the now. Knowing that it's time to decide what is best for you as you're connected to your inner wisdom, knowing that you're adaptable, free to focus on whatever you choose, being the author of your own story. Eye of the storm, the calm in the storm. Breathing easily, just being. And when you're ready, allow yourself to catalogue all this at the unconscious level now. And look forward to moving through your day with grace, with the quiet inner knowing that you control your inner world. Staying calm and centered now, bringing your attention back to the room, fully present here now. Right, take a moment now to check in with how you're feeling and check in on how you're feeling about being resilient. And take one more moment to think about your intention for this meditation and allow that intention to integrate into every cell, every fiber of your body, and breathe in your intention now all the way through your lungs, down through to your feet. Have a beautiful day.